All right, last round, round 9 of the World Open tournament. Um, the tournament started out very strong, and now we are sitting on a -1 score. We just made a couple of draws in both from positions where we had very good position, and now we're in the last round, uh, playing against Colin Yee, who's rated a little bit lower, about 100 points lower than me, um, and we play this game. Um, it's another Queenie 2 Roy Lopez, which I had a couple of these this tournament. And uh, Colin knows what he's doing. Bishop c5, c3, d6, castles, castles, rook d1, rook e8, d3. So um, 2 games ago we had a same sort of opening, but the bishop was on e7, and then my opponent put the bishop on g4. Colin knows you don't do that. Uh, and he's playing very aggressively on the queen side, which is probably a good way of playing. I wasn't totally sure about it in the game, but I think probably it's a good way of playing. I play a4 because I don't want to let him get this massive expansion on the queen side for free. b4, h3, now rook b8. So rook b8, I play bishop c4, which I thought was a very nice move, a very important move, not to, like, because right now I want to play knight f1. I can't play knight f1 because after it takes on c3, b takes my bishop is hanging. So I just get it out of the way. Maybe at some point it wants to go over here and pin this thing also. So it seemed like a very good move. Bishop d7. Now I get to play knight f1. Bishop a7. So in my head, in this game, I felt like bishop a7 was sort of a waste of time. I understood that it was trying to get out of the way of d4 with a tempo, but I was sort of thinking that I wanted to, the same way that I did in previous games. Play g4, I play knight g3, knight f5, and I leave the pawn on d3. I don't really uh, the tempo that he's saving potentially if I don't play d4 is just a wasted tempo. However, as I learned from this game, uh, g4 is not a good move unless the bishop is on h5. When the bishop is still on this diagonal, sacrifices can happen. Not necessarily right now, but even right now it's possible. Maybe knight takes g4 as a move here. Um, in the game, though, knight e7, knight g3, takes, and d5. So this was like it felt like I was a little nervous about this when I was looking at the position after knight g3, but it felt like I should have something right with my rook on the d file, sort of looking at the queen, x-raying the queen from afar. But I should probably have been much more fearful of this. In the game, takes, d5, I take it, knight e takes, and I realize I have to play queen c2. So already I felt like my position was worse. Not losing, but I felt like I'm worse now. Queen c2 protecting this pawn, and yeah, no other way to really defend it. And now this move. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's 3 moves I can consider, right? This hangs 2 knights with one move. It hangs 2 knights, and then it attacks f2. So my third move is d4, um, which is d4. Still, both knights are attacked, so he's still sort of forked. Um, and if the knight retreats back here, then d takes e5. That was one of a very short calculation that I did, which would win there, I think. Um, but I was very worried after like hg, bishop takes, king g2. Was very concerned about this position. I mean, even just like knight f6 probably is a move. Um, all the pieces are defended, and he's a lot of pressure. Technically, I would be up a piece there, but I felt like d4 was a more accurate move, which I played it. The reason I played d4 is because, well, first of all, if knight back to f6, then I get to take on e5, as I mentioned, and it blunts the bishop. And so I looked at, if he takes here, then I get to take this one. And if he does like nothing, if he retreats the knight, then I'm very happy. And um, if he doesn't do that, then I take this knight. So I was happy with that. I vaguely saw that he would have the move d3 there, but it felt like I should just be able to play like queen a2 or move the queen and everything should be fine. Um, so I do play d4. After d4, he goes for the lion with takes and d3. So takes, I take the knight, I'm up a piece. d3. Um, there's a couple moves that I can consider here. One is bishop takes f7. And then like, see, the problem is I don't get queen a2 there. If I bishop takes f7, king takes f7, queen a2, there's bishop e6. That's what I was concerned about. Um, queen a2 immediately is another consideration. And then the third consideration is rook takes d3. And after knight takes f2, I just play like rook d4 and I sacrifice the exchange. Which is not actually sacrificing the exchange because I already have a knight. So actually I have two pieces for the rook. That was my third option. Um, it was difficult for me to figure out um, which of these options I wanted to go for. In the game, I landed on queen a2 because I felt that if I could get away with that, then I should do that. I miscalculated though. I looked at queen a2, knight takes f2, I take on f7, king moves to like let's say h8. I thought I would just be able to play like rook f1, and I didn't totally see mate, but I just didn't look far enough. Queen a2 is a losing move for that exact reason. Knight takes f2, bishop takes f7, king h8, rook f1, and now queen f6. I thought I would have knight d4 here. I vaguely saw this from when I played the move. Knight d4 looks pretty good. I mean, I'm now threatening the rook. I'm threatening the knight. It seems like I'm sort of getting out of this attack. He takes it. I take back, and then knight h3 check. King g2, queen h4. So queen h4. Here I blunder. Here I just missed rook e2 after I play queen d5 and rook e2 is clearly uh, he's now clearly winning. But I sort of afterwards wondered what would happen if I had taken on e8 and then played queen d5 because in the game this happens and here I have nothing to do. But you can imagine if the other rook was gone and this bishop was gone, then I would have a check on a8 and or even a check on f8. I mean, it's definitely I must have much better chances there than I do here. In the game, I'll just show you how the game finishes, which is queen f3, bishop g4, queen e3, takes, and queen f6 fork, and I resign. It's just a terrible end to a terrible tournament. A tournament which had a lot of potential, but in the end was pretty bad. I lost double-digit number of rating points from this event. But if I was wondering what would happen in this position if I took on e8, rook takes e8, and then move queen d5. I don't really know. Right now I'm up. What am I? One rook. A rook for 3 pawns, and one of the pawns is very important here. But rook e2 doesn't work anymore, and his bishop's attacked, and I don't know. Extremely complicated position. I'm a rook up, but it's not clear, and I think this definitely. I mean, it's definitely a better option than what happened in the game because what happened in the game is I just lose immediately. Um, but I'm still not sure about this. So I'm very interested to look at this game with the machine. So let's just take a look from where we're out of book, which would be right here. This is out of book for me. A4 is good. B4. I played bishop c4, which I thought was a useful move. Oh no, first h3, sorry. Rook b8, and then I played bishop c4. Yeah, bishop c4 is important here. Bishop d7. Knight f1 is good. Here I should just play knight g3. I've now learned that the g4, you don't play g4 when the bishop's still in that diagonal. I should just play knight g3 and play for d4. Don't want to weaken my king side too much. Yeah, g4 is a very bad move. Knight e7 is the correct response. Knight g3, knight g6 would be really good, but even his line of taking in d5, it's just bad position for white already. d5. Yeah, I take this thing, he takes it, queen c2, and then here he takes on g4, which is sound. It's not necessarily the best way to play, but it is very... I mean, it was very difficult to face. I spent a lot of time thinking about all the captures, and I pretty quickly ruled out taking this guy immediately because of the issues on f2. But this capture and d4 were both very tempting. In the end, I go with d4, takes, bishop takes d5, move d3 is the only move that keeps black alive. But now, yeah, queen a2 is the losing move, which sort of makes sense. The drawing line, let's see if we can find this. Bishop takes f7, king takes f7. Let's just see. Bishop takes f7, king takes f7. Queen takes d3. I was very scared of this. But I guess I just have queen takes d7. I just have queen takes d7. That's yeah, that's not even that hard. I just have to sack the piece back for 2 pawns. I sack it back for 2 pawns. Right, so I have now, it's four pawns versus 4 pawns. And he should just play knight f6 and it's just equal material. And we get this position. He might king f8 already, bishop a3 is an issue, so he has to go to g6. I mean, yeah, this very easily could have happened if I had just done that. Bishop takes and queen d3. Somehow I was just scared of doing that. And then this was the other line, with rook takes d3, knight takes f2, rook d4. But this position is just winning for him. Right, knight takes h3, king g2, bishop moves and hits things, rook's coming in. Both rooks are on open files. Black is clearly better here. Also, there's 3 pawns, so the actual material count is I have a bishop and knight for a rook and 3 pawns, which is lost for me. So, yeah. So after d3, I need to immediately sacrifice the bishop back for the 2 pawns, and then I don't even know. It's just very double-edged game. In the game, queen a2, and now I lose to knight takes f2, takes here, rook f1. A queen f6 gives me a chance. Apparently this is a miss. He should just play bishop takes h3. Bishop takes h3. If I play rook takes f2, what is the move there? Queen d6. Hitting my knight. My rook is attacked. And if I play king h2, then bishop takes, queen takes, and rook e2, and my knight's pinned. Wow. Yeah, that's tough. So it sort of makes sense that he didn't find that, I guess. Yeah, it's not that, I don't know. I guess it's difficult. But yeah, in the game queen f6, now I have a chance again. I play knight d4, which is the move. Takes, knight takes h3, king g2. And yeah, of course, I should take the rook. Take the rook. Yeah, I don't know. I sort of in my head was already thinking that I was losing here, but if you see rook e2, then you should know that queen d5 is completely losing, and yeah, this move is losing to rook e2, or rook e3 even would have been winning, but rook e2 is very convincing. But yeah, this position is really not clear. If I went for this, Queen g4 is not an obvious move. And other than that, white is actually already better because white is up a rook. It's crazy. Black's down a rook and queen g4, and queen g4 with ideas, rook e2 ideas. So probably after queen g4, I have to play like some crazy move like rook a2. Yeah, just to survive. Oh, bishop e6. Check this out. Queen f3. Black can even just like now win the whole rook back and play that position, or queen takes d4 and maintain being down a rook. But this would have been very nice. Bishop e1, and I'm up a knight for 3 pawns, and probably black is still playing here. Black is still the one pressing. So anyway, that was the end of this game. So disappointing tournament. We have the Bradley Open that I'm going to get videos coming out starting next week, and that tournament, I won't spoil anything about that one, but I really did try to work on mental fortitude, and it's not something that is an easy thing to work on because the way that you work on it is you lose games and then you try not to let them affect you, which is a very difficult thing, at least for me to do. So we will see how I am able to improve in that moving forward. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video series, even though some of the games were a little depressing. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you'll enjoy the upcoming videos as well. So stay tuned for those, and we'll keep them coming out for as long as I have content to post. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.